Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television. The camera may hang once in a while, which the beat up perps do with your cancer harp, to depopulate the Earth to 500 million, depersonalization of the living meat, basically, and the to death with these remotely controlled hybrid insect, microelectric, mechanical systems. But this broadcast is more about the planned world war over Syria to depopulate 500 million, rule the world from Jerusalem and establish a new world order. And, well, perhaps it's best if we just start with the points that I've written down that may be interesting for you all to know about in order for you to be able to survive the planned depopulation. But perhaps it's not. Perhaps it's best if I just sit here and go wind forward to the point that the speech engine starts. I bet I won't get any live viewers because everybody's brain controls. Oh yeah, I made it go out. So. Doing stuff that doesn't expect me to do the neural network, scanning every brain. Single females are welcome, but I don't think anybody will visit me or hear this broadcast before we're nuked over Syria. Putin will use tactical nukes. And I don't really believe this, but I just say it because I think it's better to be prepared anyway. Also, if there's a meltdown or terrorist attack, you would need a radiological water filter and some storable food, which is peanut butter and rice. To prevent a world war and create universal peace. Okay, I switch to the screen sharing mode and I turn on the speech engine.
How to turn off Windows 10's keylogger? Yes, it still has one. PCWorld.com, relax. Windows 10 doesn't have a malicious keylogger. www.winbeta.org, Windows 10 keylogger can track everything you type, but www.atimes.co.uk, Downing Stream 10. England is no longer controlled by Britons, we are under the invisible Jewish dictatorship, a dictatorship that can be felt in every sphere of life, Nesta Helen Webster. Freemasonry is a fraternity, thus it only has male members. Answers.com. Nobody writes arrest Kesha though she claimed it was a real human heart and real human blood she drank. On stage. As you can see in a video. Though it's an act so horrible most people might tend to disbelieve it. Elsewhere, Keisha claims she drank blood from a human heart on stage in Sydney. That was real, she says. I did it on stage in Sydney. I think I was hanging out with Alice Cooper too much. I was just really inspired to do it. There wasn't a very good reason behind it. Keisha, threatening fans sent me a bloody knife in the post. www.nim.com. Bet nobody checked if Eminem's bloodbath in the video 3 AM contained real human blood either. Real whistleblowers that have exposed crimes of government employees must be protected and not prosecuted. The government must protect and serve the taxpayers, and they can show they are doing that by arresting members of secret societies and Freemasons. Not the whole government is corrupt, but only a handful of Freemasons and Jesuits that have infiltrated it and control it with directed energy weapon torture, illegal voice to skull, intracranial, messages only the target can hear and brain control, synthetic telepathy, making a fair trial impossible. Furthermore, electronic voting is impossible because the NSA's wireless energy technology developed by Tesla is real. Plus homeschool, learn and earn. Butterfly Lullaby Blogspot.nl is a great blog. People need to unite against these people that are depopulating the earth for personal gain. expose their depopulation plans and learn and teach how to survive. Share info, make a plan, as survival is all strategy. To create a perfect society in which we all will live happily eternally, which is possible because everything is energy. Growing your own food is best. People have died of GMO. More about this on http://universalpeace.edublogs.org. They want to get rid of 93% of the world's global population, so warning others and spreading info is a good way to start. The more there are of us, the better. The bigger the resistance to the tyrants that have tortured my mother and many others to death with her, that are cancer, chemtrailing, poisoning and radiating the world's global population to death and tyrannizing the best of us with directed energy weapons. Countries with directed energy weapons are to unite against these tyrants that have tortured the teeth out of my mouth with herp before they kill everyone with their cancer herp. Exposing them is one way because they do not do things unless they can control the outcome. More about how to survive, what they have done to me and their sinister New World Order plans in my YouTube vidcasts on this channel. If you are ever in the Netherlands, you are welcome, of course. Best Skype me, Perlogic 999. Also, if you have questions or remarks or want me in your broadcast. Love and peace, Ulrich. Perhaps he meant, and the AA. I made Pow Police. Is Bill Gates in reality Stephen Hawking? Not yet. Gone too soon. I could play that. 6 Islamics. They put lots of stuff in the clouds, and now, it's high, depopulation clown. Red nose. Nullify the CIA, NSA and Mossad. Oh yeah, plus the FSB, psychotrith, YouTube, statistics don't high. Jews depopulating the earth, Rockefeller, Rothschild, the Jesuits founded by Ashkenazi Jews, Bill Gates, George Soros, are the most famous ones, but there are many, many others. Wars are the Jews' harvest. The Jew banks grow fat on Christian wars. Over 100 million Christians have been swept off the face of the earth by wars, and the www will to be genocide QHTML. Less known are the Freemasons with their Luciferian oaths, such as Obama, of which they pretend they think they are Muslims, on controlled opposition websites such as InfoWars. To prevent any real opposition to their New World Order depopulation, they pretend to be opposition themselves. Freemasonry is a Jewish establishment whose history, grades, official appointments, passwords, and explanations are Jewish from beginning to end. Rabbi Isaac Wise. Healing. To get rid of a disease, you must get rid of the cause and not just fight the symptoms with chemical, thus cancer-causing drugs. And you may quote me on this. Recovery begins with non-compliance. David, a quote. How to escape from a psychiatric hospital, http://www.patricia.com/ update/ escape from psychhosp.htm. The thing worse than rebellion is the thing that causes rebellion. Frederick Douglass. State tyranny, oppression, poverty, sustainability equals genocide, democide, geoengineering equals engineering equals democide. Sustainable development, genocide turned into a necessity, http://www.italySheeple.com/ sustainable-development-into-a-necessity_072013. Why are the people and corporations historically responsible for the destruction of the ecosystem also behind the global movement to, quote, save the planet, unquote? The United Nations Conference on Environmental Development of 1992, better known as the Earth Summit, promotes plans like Agenda 21, the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, which intend and are slowly achieving Kurt Waldheim's ecophysis dream to depopulate Is it possible to become non-Jewish? We are all descendants of Lucy and the hominids. To become non-Jewish, you would have to convince all people that believe in being Jewish that Jews do not exist, that it is impossible to be Jewish. We all evolved from the monkeys, including what some people claim are Jewish and or chosen people. according to people that believe in the concept the person is Jewish if the mother of that person is Jewish. We were all created equal by our parents. Equal rights. Circumcised children were mutilated by their parents. Apparently they do not have the right to physical integrity if they are Muslims or Jews. Abraham circumcised himself. It was not done by his parents according to the biblical Old Testament that contains the famous 10 Commandments. Circumcision at a later age brings with it that men get a hard-on and orgasm quite regularly, wet dreams, which would be painful with a missing foreskin. The pain can be sedated, however, the penis heals fast and parents have the choice to not mutilate their child and let the child decide for itself if it wants to be circumcised when it's a grown-up. Children that died of the circumcision are another subject. Religion is slavery for the mind and an important depopulation tool. Religion is an illusion. That was a Freud quote. There is no divine punishment, so to do justice we have to do it ourselves. And with Jesuit cannibals controlling the Supreme Court, fake electronic voting, fake impeachments of the presidents and both sides controlled by the Jesuits and with directed energy weapons, a fair trial is impossible and we are bound to see hell on earth come to fruition if we do not take action. Unite to prevent their loony genocide. Expose controlled opposition and find people you can trust. Attacked Oxitec. Oxitec. Innovative insect control. Oxitec. Hard Oxitec. Oxitecno. Genocide is okay as long as we do it in the name of science. Lol. UN official, we should make every effort to depopulate the planet. Christiana Figures, the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, recently stated in an interview that the Earth is already overburdened with people and that we should look at depopulating the planet. Looking at it, do it to us. Doing something about it, whatever. America and Israel will continue to make war with Syria and Iran, as those countries have not submitted to the Jesuits' authority yet. The Jesuits control the group of radical terrorists called Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is a network of Muslims who are controlled, trained, armed and funded by the Jesuits through the CIA. They use Al-Qaeda to create unrest in a targeted country like Libya, then they cause the military to provide support to help remove leaders that have not bowed down to their authority. Ex-CIA defense contractor Stephen D. Kelly said this is a completely fabricated enemy. The funding is completely from the United States and its allies, and for people to think that this enemy is something that needs to be attacked in Syria or Iraq is a farce, because obviously this is something that we created, we control, and only now it has become inconvenient for us to attack this group as a legitimate enemy. The Jesuits control the group of radical terrorists called ISIS. The Roman Catholic Church used to openly cause people they deemed as heretics, mostly the true followers of Christ, to be killed during the Dark Ages and their Inquisition. Now the Jesuits of Rome do it covertly by having the CIA and US military train and arm the ISIS rebels to carry out their Inquisition. Radical Muslims are evil to be sure, but they are controlled by the Jesuits of Rome, the Earth Beast of Revelation 13. When Obama said recently that ISIS isn't Islamic, he wasn't lying. ISIS is a creation of the Jesuits of Rome to carry out their Inquisition of killing the followers of Christ. ISIS was trained and armed by the CIA and the Israeli Mossad, and they were funded by Saudi Arabia. The Jesuits are using them to overthrow the leaders of countries who have not bowed down to their authority, and don't have a Jesuit Rothschild central bank, like the Federal Reserve. That is why Syria and Iran are in the crosshairs. Syrian President Assad has resisted them so far, but ISIS is being used to justify US assistance to help overthrow Assad. They wear masks for a reason, to hide their faces, because some are military, private contractors, etc. This former CIA contractor shares the ISIL as fabricated by the US to justify military action against countries that have not bowed down to the authority of the Jesuits. http://christianitybeliefs.org/ Islam-in-Bible-prophecy/ the-fake-war-on-terror ISIS leader Simon Ali, not choosing sides and coming up with solutions to create universal peace, not want to be a true hippie. Though confirmed Syrian Gov, Israeli/ISIS nuclear weapons in Syria veterans today. Tactical nukes used in Syria, proof. YouTube. Discovered inexorable evidence that the U.S. has used tactical nuclear weapons against Serbia, Iraq and Afghanistan, and that Israeli and Saudi nuclear weapons have been used against Syria and Yemen. Further, we have access to classified U.S. investigation findings that show that terror organizations directly under the control of National Intelligence Agent open access to nuclear weapon. One idea is to use the weapons supplied by these Jesuits to protect the civilians and change your name from ISIS into People Protection Front or something. Instead of killing innocent civilians, which is what the pedo elite that want to depopulate Earth want you to do. Storable food sell. Crimea does not pay. What would be the best way? 2. Protect the civilians, complete ceasefire including not shooting terrorists, no tactical nukes. No Saudi-Turkey invasion of Syria, preventing beats curing, universal peace. Now, we must stop shooting and bombing our fellow humans and convince others, make love, go AWOL, it's safest. Military, absent without leave. Absent from one's post or duty without official permission but without intending to desert, for example to make baked bananas, have sex, watch a game or play, bored. Game. Protect the koalas. Without intending to desert be a reason. Go AWOL. I thought it could also mean get wasted, but I get that. And again, radiological water filter. You take me away, I kill myself. We are all brain controlling. Preventing World War III is more important than getting rid of some hujis, and using tactical nukes is not the way to do it without killing innocent civilians. Fights against the use of tactical nukes and to prepare for the event Putin uses them anyway and to overreacting to it. Tactical nukes have been used in Syria already, and I think the main people suffering from this are innocent civilians. I think Putin is former MI5. Wants a new world order and is not anti-NWO as some are led to believe. However, I am not certain because I cannot trust anything I read online. Time to establish a new world order, says Putin. October 29, 2014. Nikolai Lytotkin, RBTH. Nikolai Surkov, Russian President Vladimir Putin has called on the international community to establish a new world order with the aim of preventing future conflicts. Speaking at an international Sochi, Putin affirmed the immutability of Russia's position and called on the West to enter into a dialogue to solve today's problems. http://rbth.com/ international / 2014 / 10 / 29 / time _to establish _ new _ world _ order says Putin _ 40973.html.
It's 1410 Gate.
See Lenin about leading opposition yourself. Quote.
Gate.
The U.S. may also prevent a world war by not backing a Saudi and or Turkey invasion of Syria. If they want to catch these tactical nukes, we cannot stop them. I posted the above to InfoWars comments in reply to the page. http://www.infowars.com/ report Putin threatens Turkey with tactical nuke / My post has been deleted and no censored message is displayed. Nobody reads InfoWars comments anyway and nobody takes them seriously. They know they are controlled opposition, fake. They have tortured my teeth out of my mouth with herp, and other targeted individuals have reported about their dental torture as well, and they have killed hundreds, thousands or even millions of people with herp. So drones are obsolete. With this directed energy weapon technology, they can definitely kill the real terrorists if these pedo elite that control this death ray choose to do so. Since their goal is depopulating the earth, it is doubtful if this will happen. However, illegal crop circles. Oh, herp. Not some fucking nutty alien. See universalpeace.jimdo.com for a video of these light orbs generated with herp making the crop circles, which destroy part of the farmer's produce and are therefore illegal. Report. Putin threatens Turkey with tactical nukes. Moscow warns Ankara that it will fiercely resist an invasion of Syria. Award-winning Iran-Contra journalist Robert Perry has been told by a source close to Vladimir Putin that Russia has threatened Turkey with the use of tactical nuclear weapons if it launches a joint invasion of Syria with Saudi Arabia. Writing for Consortium News, Perry warns that the risk of the United States and its allies escalating the conflict in Syria to rescue rebels who are now on the verge of defeat could spark World War III. Source: Infowars.com. Warning: nano-death technology in food soaps, slow kill vaccine injections, air, ground and water. Warning, picture. Warning: nano-death technology in food soaps, air, ground and water. Warning. Best of Linda Oxer reply to Jane Burgermester's website. Read all vaccine patents out there and you will see the term benzonase, and that is the E. coli and yeast being put in vaccines. You didn't read careful enough. These agents are being used in all medications. The aryl and acyl compounds are mercury and used with STO1 in many medications. Controlled genetic centipedes or normal brown centipedes, the most common type, not hybrid insects, HIMs, are in my body. Picture 3. Lithobius forficatus centipede I caught in the UMC hospital I was in during my stay there. Size 1.7 centimeters. If you know a safe drug to get rid of these centipedes in my body, a poison harmless to humans but harmful to the brown centipede, please let me know ASAP. Veterinarians, gardeners and doctors that know the name of a drug that was used to successfully remove this vermin from the bowels or stool of humans, animals or gardens, please contact me on flipflipu@yahoo.com. Hybrid insects are real. Reasons to assume a centipede in my body are HIMs, hybrid insects, or scalar-controlled genetically altered centipedes. 1. The controllers pretend to be the centipede. I know centipedes cannot talk. 2. The centipede attacked me because my scrotum was burned severely with a directed energy weapon. 3. The perpetrators simulate the centipedes crawling over my skin and induce itching and are able to change the form of the bites to make it look like delusional parasitosis. I know this because I have also felt the itching beam on my hand when spinning out of their beam in circles. 4. The perpetrators let the insect attack, bite, at certain moments, for example when browsing porn, to make it look as if God does it and to sterilize me. 5. The controller showed me he was able to move its jaws even though the centipede appeared to be dead already. Preserved in alcohol. 6. The perpetrators are able to control what the bite of the centipedes looks like. First, they only attacked my burned scrotum. Lately it seemed like the centipedes produced less poison, possibly due to my intake of pyrethrum, which is found in daisies and used to treat several types of insect plagues. When producing less poison, the body segments from which they release their poison are not clearly visible in the markings of the centipedes, officially not insects but myriapods, Chulipoda. Only the bite and some poison, hydrogen cyanide, produced at the middle torso and outer end of its body, leaves a hole in the skin it burns through. Lately the perpetrators have changed the way the insect markings look by letting the centipede scavenge, biting my body while walking over it, producing long painful incision-like markings of about 12 centimeters, even longer. It is also possible the parasite-free wormwood and diatomaceous earth and other ingredients such as cayenne pepper have made the centipedes more aggressive, but these 6 points together make clear it is likely the centipedes are remotely controlled. Why else would the centipedes come out at night and make long insect bites or wounds on the outside of my body, risking getting caught? I would not tell this to a doctor, and I think the points jotted down here are not enough reason to say with certainty the centipedes are remotely controlled, but I feel the world has a right to know. because people that do this to fellow human beings are such sadistic, inhumane tortures that we should warn everybody about these loonies with sex with the centipede in my body cannot be, because if the centipedes multiply themselves in my body, the centipedes cannot have a chip built in. Why, it is clear the centipedes are in my body. 1. I caught one on the toilet. The centipede was biting itself into my forehead. I caught a second centipede in the UMC hospital which died almost instantly after I caught it, making clear the insects are in my body and not in my room. 2. Markings in my feces, poop, in which the shape of the centipede and especially its antennae are clearly visible. 3. I have seen a centipede or the centipede next to my waterbed but was unable to catch it and moved to another room. Despite moving, these 3 reasons make 100% clear they are in my body with certainty. 4. The 4th reason I am certain they are in my body is because they make sounds in my stomach and bite in my anus frequently when they cannot find their way out, and also bite in my stomach from the inside. So because I am able to feel their bites clearly, I am certain the centipedes are inside my body. The centipede bites cannot be scratches I made during my sleep because 1. The body segments of the centipede are clearly visible in the markings. 2. There are markings on my back in places I cannot reach during my sleep. 3. I caught one of the insects that had bitten itself into my forehead that I had to pull off. 4. The bites do not heal as fast or normal wounds, and spots form around the bites caused by the centipede's poison to subdue their prey with spiders, mice, etc. According to the Army Field Manual, we do not have to fear their bites but the infections the centipedes can spread because they live in compost heaps and dung. I have already tried several natural anti-ticks, natural pesticides and parasite killers, curcumin, pumpkin seeds, pyrethrum, daisies, eugenol, clove, nutmeg, large amounts of garlic, protease-containing foods like pineapple, papaya, not tried yet, and whole grain sourdough bread. Parasitefree.net, wormwood, food-grade diatomaceous earth. The centipedes entered my lung where they have caused a lung embolism, so eating foods to keep them in my stomach is not such a bad idea. I've been misdiagnosed 3 times. First 2 misdiagnoses of my atopic eczema caused by the centipede bites, allowing for the virus to spread because a wrong type of ointment was prescribed. Only after a 3rd opinion I got by pretending it was another problem which the supercomputer did was not prepared for. I got a biopsy, a piece of my arm was taken for diagnosis in a lab, and the diagnosis atopic eczema was made by Dr. Wu. Another misdiagnosis was made by a first aid doctor that asked me, "Do you see insects in this room?" The doctor thought I was suffering from delusional parasitosis, which is impossible because there are markings in my feces, poop, and their antennae are clearly visible in markings in my feces, and the body segments of the centipedes are clearly visible in the bites and wounds the nocturnal predatory carnivorous scavengers have made all over my body, which I have documented with photographs. I am being killed with blood thinners, and the centipede in my body could be part of a depopulation program designed to kill me, which I find unlikely because of several reasons. Also because this infestation of the human body with centipedes happened before, it's not something recent, and the cases are documented. Pseudoparasites are free-living animals or parasites of other hosts acquired by an individual and which may survive for some length of time therein. There are other reports of pseudoparasitism by myriapods in humans. Blanchard, 1898, 1902. Huber, 1902. Lawrence, 1913 to 1919. Chamberlain, 1923. Garcia, 1938. Cavier, 1953. Urtic et al., 2004. In summaries in 1898 and 1902, Raphael Blanchard reported 40 confirmed cases of pseudoparasitism by millipedes and chilopods, most recovered alive from patients. Blanchard, 1898, 1902. By 1953 the total grew to 54 reported cases, 35 from the nasal cavities and frontal sinuses, 3 from other parts of the body, that is ear canal and urethra, and 16 from the gastrointestinal tract. Blanchard, 1898, 1902. Chamberlain, 1923. Garcia, 1938. Cavier, 1953. In 2004, Urtic et al. Recovered the millipede Nepoiulus kochi from the intestine of a 14-year-old Turkish boy with a history of stomach aches and burning throat sensations. He had found active millipede in his mouth and feces. Urtic et al., 2004. Historically, cases of pseudoparasitism have been initially regarded as delusions or misperceptions, often believed to have been fabricated. However, Chamberlain in 1923 stated, "The number of carefully authenticated cases is now so large that there is no room whatever for doubt that myriapods may live for considerable periods, in some cases months, if not years, both in the aerial passages and in the alimentary tract, through the entire length of which they may pass unharmed." Chamberlain, 1923. It was believed that cases associated with the respiratory tract were likely a result of chilopods entering the nasal passages while the patient slept. Chamberlain, 1923. Lawrence, 1913 to 1919. In the case of intestinal pseudoparasitism, however, the route of acquisition is unknown. Blanchard, 1898, 1902. Chamberlain, 1923. Urtic et al., 2004. Note: centipedes are attracted to carbon monoxide humans breathe out through the mouth and nose, which centipedes may enter during their sleep. Then they are coughed up and swallowed into the alimentary canal and eventually end up in the large intestine or enter the anus directly. They may live in feces and compost heaps. Hoffman, 2010. In general, symptoms associated with the presence of the arthropods in all these reports resolved once the myriapods were voided. Apparent pseudoparasitism of the alimentary canal of a 5-year-old child by the millipede Brachyolus lucidinus, Diplopoda, Uladau, Malavi G.H. Nativus R. Rasain M. Najalfi N. Lucio Forster A. and Bowman D.D. Pseudoparasitism. A number of cases have been recorded in which centipedes have been voided from the mouth, anus or nose of human beings. The most detailed review of the subject is that of Blanchard, 1898, who cited case histories in detail. The following species have been involved: Haplophilus saturanius gervaisi, Catecholine versuviana, Geophilus carpophacus, G. electricus, G. cephalicis, Lithobius forficatus and Scutigera coleoptrata. Of these, G. carpophacus was the most common. Cases may last for many years and a large number of centipedes may be involved. Shipley, 1914, reported a case of a woman of 68 who passed some hundreds of Haplophilus saturanius during the course of 12 or 18 months. The centipedes were vomited or passed from the anus. Some emerged from the nose. As many as 7 or 8 a day left the alimentary canal. Blanchard suggested that the centipedes were either introduced into the alimentary canal with vegetables, or were swallowed intentionally. Page 374 of the book, The Biology of Centipedes by J.G. Lewis. I was unable to identify the young centipede that I caught first sucking into my forehead on the toilet correctly because it had no antennae nor recognizable legs, and I thought it was a Scolopendroheros, Morcellans or subspinats because of the bites they make at night when they come out of my body because they are nocturnal and possibly remotely controlled. Hybrid insects are real. The second centipede helped me identify the species because of the amount of body segments and antennae segments. Extra info: 2.3 Defense glands. Defense glands in Chilopoda are hitherto known as tilopidal gland, lithobiomorpha, sternal gland, geophilomorpha, and hydrogen cyanide producing gland, scolopendromorpha. The tilopidal glands are situated at the inner, posterior, borders of the tilopodites, on the 12th to 15th pairs of legs, where they open on the femur, tibia, tarsus, and metatarsus. They produce a sticky, strain-like secretion. Most geophilomorpha have voluminous clusters of sternal glands which open into internal pore areas. The sternal gland produces sticky fluid in response to attack from predatory arthropods. The glue hardens within a few seconds. The hydrogen cyanide producing glands are spread all over the body, from the second to the next to the last body segment and over the legs. The defensive secretion contains hydrogen cyanide and protein. http://www.senckenberg.de/ file/ content/ forschung/ publication soil organisms/ volume_81_3/ Rosenberg_Muller_CD_appendix.pdf Miljoenputten worden door de meest predatoren genegeerd. Alleen de grotier, dues en putlithobido sp con de miljoenputten doden, maar afvalent genog beberk daxich tot het, kop gedeeld. Dit komt waarschijnlijk door dat in the anterior lichaamssegmenten kleren aanwezig zijn die, repellentstoffen afschotten als verdedigingsmechanism tegen natuurlijke vijanden. De belangrikstof, die ze daarbij afschotten is mandelateral, wat een mandelatage geeft, Clear et al., 2003, welk, wordt afgebroken in de vluchtigstoffen benzaldehyde en cyanide. Towers et al., 1972. De bakenproef, metaduas en poedel beefsteak die lab observaties. Gedurende een langer periode en da, gran was geen effect van des roverwarte nemen op pissebetten en miljoenputten. Sunderland and Sutton, 1980, concluderen van het handstudie, met een indirect serologisch
Title of this
method,
video,
dat duas
Center-
inputen, mogelijk de belangrikspredatoren van pissebetten zien. Op basis van des experimenten con G, concluderen dat dit effect op pissebetten was overschat. http://edipod.word.nl/2645. Antibacterial activity in the hemolymph of myriapods, arthropoda. Zylander W.E., Neverminal. Institut für Allgemeine und Spezialzoologie der Geistesliebe Universität, Gießen, Federal Republic of Germany. Abstract. The hemonymphs of two diplopod, Schicobolus sp and Rapidostreptus variegator, and two chylopod species, Lithobius forficatus and Scolopendra cingulata, were tested for the presence of antibacterial substances using Petri dish tests. The native hemolymph of all species had substances acting on living Micrococcus luteus, whereas only Rapidostreptus, Scolopendra, and Lithobius were effective against lyophilized Micrococcus. The antibacterial activity against living Micrococcus increased after inoculation with bacteria, Enterobacter cliche beta 12, in Schicobolus and Rapidostreptus, and also against lyophilized Micrococcus in the latter. Thus, these effects appear to be inducible. None of the myriapods tested had any bacteriostatic effect on Escherichia coli D31, whereas the growth of gram-negative E. coli was inhibited. The antibacterial substances in the diplopod species were unstable when heated but were resistant to freezing. At least two antibacterial substances, a lysozyme-like one and another substance, are considered to occur in myriapoda. http://www.ncbi.nlm.ne.gov/ pubm/2273286. A hydrogen cyanide concentration of 300 mg per meter 3 in air will kill a human within about 10 minutes. It is estimated that hydrogen cyanide at a concentration of 3500 ppm, about 3200 mg per meter 3, will kill a human in about 1 minute. The toxicity is caused by the cyanide ion, which halts cellular respiration by inhibiting an enzyme in mitochondria called cytochrome C oxidase. Cyanide, sulfide, azide, and carbon monoxide 5 all bind to cytochrome C oxidase, thus competitively inhibiting the protein from functioning, which results in chemical asphyxiation of cells. Methanol in methylated spirits is converted into formic acid, which also inhibits the same oxidase system. Hydrogen cyanide absorbed into a carrier for use as a pesticide, under IG Farben's brand name Cyclone B, or in German Zyklon B, with the B standing for Blausäure, 24, was employed by Nazi Germany in the mid-20th century in extermination camps. The same product is currently made in the Czech Republic under the trademark Uragan D2. Hydrogen cyanide is also the agent used in gas chambers employed in judicial execution in some U.S. states, where it is produced during the execution by the action of sulfuric acid on an excised mass of potassium cyanide. Hydrogen cyanide is commonly listed amongst chemical warfare agents known as blood agents. 25. As a substance listed under Schedule 3 of the Chemical Weapons Convention as a potential weapon which has large-scale industrial uses, manufacturing plants in signatory countries which produce more than 30 tons per year must be declared to, and can be inspected by, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. Under the name prussic acid, HCN has been used as a killing agent in whaling harpoons. 26. Hydrogen cyanide gas in air is explosive at concentrations over 5.6%, equivalent to 56,000 ppm, ways to remove 1. Manually. 2. Gamma ray. 3. Doctor-derived mortal oscillatory rate frequency, eigenfrequenz. 4. Anthelmintics, natural if not effective chemical. Natural, pyrithum equals daisies, in a greater amount than I have taken so far. Quercarbidin equals pumpkin seeds. Eugenol equals clove, cruitnickel, and nutmeg, nutmuscat. Chemical, cretonic acid ethyl ester. Doctors are referred to the patents I have supplied them with. Probioticum. Come out with your hands off, baby. The evil uncle nation. Cysteine proteases are commonly encountered in fruits including papaya, pineapple, fig and kiwi fruit. Please help me to remove this vermin from my body. If I do not get help in time, I will die of the centipedes which are still in my body because they still make markings in my poop and I feel their bites in my stomach and near my anus. So I myself am 100% certain they are still in my body. A boy in Iran and man in Turkey died of the treatment in the hospital, making clear the cure could be even worse than the disease, and I want to try the other ways to remove the centipede first unless it is a drug that is proven to kill centipedes of this type. Most common, brown centipede, Goonsteenloper in Dutch. Ideas to remove the centipedes from my body are very welcome. Mail to colinfliflipu@yahoo.com. If I do not find a way to remove the centipedes, or if there is no way the scalar-controlled Gentech centipedes could become a plague over which they declare martial law, I hereby solemnly promise I will let the world know how to get the centipedes out of the human body if I find a way, unless they require me to keep it secret. Do not exterminate the people that will save your future. It can happen to anyone. They walk into the noses and mouths of people during their sleep and are attracted to the smell of decaying matter, for example burned skin, mosquito net, air cleaner with ionizer, organ pyramid to produce negative ions to oxidize the air, turn airborne Ebola into oxygen, organize-africa.net, energygenerator.com. Create a free website powered by, start your own free website.
Okay, so it was an old website about these centipedes, and other people have contacted me. Recently also a Dutch person that thinks he has centipedes in his body. And I think many of them don't really have centipedes in their body, that if they are also in your vessels and you feel them in other places in your body, then they're not centipedes, but probably tapeworm. And according to Dr. Rio, 25% of the meat eaters suffer from tapeworm. Or at least 25% of them have tapeworm, not that they suffer from it. They wouldn't notice they're in the body. They put their eggs in meat. And I'm trying to get the camera back, which they block obviously, to depersonalize me and to start a world war to depopulate 500 million and create a new world order, perhaps. But I doubt it. I think that they want to prevent MAD. Scalar world war. Scalar weapons have made nuclear weapons obsolete, obviously. So let's see if I can get it to work for the outro. Also blocking the mouse pointers. I know there's enough CPU and memory available, it's not the problem. Which they may want to pretend that it is, of course, if they are doing this. So blocking the mouse pointer. So yeah, preparing for the World War can't hurt, and not having a radiological water filter would kill you in a couple of days if Putin were to use tactical nukes over Syria being invaded by Turkey and Saudi Arabia. Um, well, I doubt it all. And again, so perhaps I'll restart the computer and then come back with a different broadcast. So perhaps there are no centipedes in my body, but other people have definitely contacted me. I've covered these emails in my previous broadcast. I've covered the types of centipedes that can enter the human body. And so never sleep in the house where you saw a centipede. And the common house centipede is one of the pseudoparasites that were found in the human body. So never sleep in a house where you saw a centipede. Okay. And another good idea is to cover up the ventilation shafts with some mesh and buy mesh in front of the windows with all these GMO mosquitoes. Spread their Zika virus and inject everybody with killer vaccines. Gunpowder plants are already in place, but that's not going to happen if they're making a world war over Syria. But I think they'd rather have universal peace that they understand it would set them back in their search for the Holy Grail, permanent cure against aging. And 7-year nuclear winter is less fun than what they have now. So I doubt if they'll push that button. And even if Putin uses tactical nukes, it doesn't mean that there would be a world war. They've already used tactical nukes in Syria. So I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. Just prepare with a radiological water filter and some storable food, also for other calamities, and there's no need to worry. So I think it's all possible, positive, usable information. And well, I hope you enjoyed the show. And I hope I make a better one next time. And remember to watch my previous shows for Universal Peace, and to like and subscribe, and especially spread the information to loved ones and around the world. Make your own website and your own group, etc. to expose the loonies depopulating the earth. Unite to prevent their genocide. And of course, everybody's tyrannized by these people that want to murder 93% of the world's global population. And they do that. The main depopulation tool is their directed energy weapon called HARP, the atmospheric heater, not cooler. And they also have this ecotex money scam, but it fails in the light of a possible world war over Syria. However, I think it's not going to happen. After all the times we were led to believe that there would be a world war and stuff, perhaps they just do that to sell their prepper bags and other stuff, for which the date may expire, may have to buy new stuff. And it's unlikely that it could happen with the scalar weapons that are used to depopulate the earth. But it's not impossible, perhaps. So it's best to be prepared for universal peace.